It's Wednesday, June 13th, 2018, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and here with me in our Orlando studios, Andre Henry.
Yo.
Over there on the ones and twos, our illustrious temporary producer, the newest guy on the team. My brother Chandler is out of town. Welcome to the team, Clark Flippo.
What's up?
And on the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
And all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, author, speaker, podcaster, Annie F. Downs.
Good morning, gents.
Lots of changes this week. So Eddie's out of town. Chandler's out of town. It's going to be a different dynamic.
Yeah.
We won't have the laugh track built in.
I have a question too. Along with this different dynamic, Annie, you appear. We're on Sky Video. You appear to be in some sort of log cabin. So.
It's true. It's true. I just let Cameron go with it, saying I was in Nashville, Tennessee. I am not in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm at a summer camp in middle of random corner of Georgia. So I'm in. This is like a log cabin. Is the best way to put it. It's a log cabin.
Are you the keynote speaker? Are you the revival speaker for a church camp, for youth camp?
I do about one a summer, and I totally love this particular camp. So I'm super glad to be here. And they have Wi-Fi, so I still get to be friends with y'all.
Do you get to participate in the summer camp hijinks?
If I want to, yeah. There's some of them I get to do. They have all the, they all go to like breakout stuff during the day, and I'm not in charge of any of that, so I can't like hop in and hang out and like make friends. So I kind of stay in my room and do work.
But you're the evening speaker
meals
every night?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember those camps. I mean, by
what
night
do you remember,
3,
Cameron?
Well, just by night 3, I mean, you're really giving your life to the Lord, and
Yeah.
And then by night 4, I mean, just mountaintop spiritual experience. Night 5, you're back home and everything falls apart.
Oh, you hope not. Golly.
No. You carry it to the Sunday because you give the youth group gives a testimony at church about what God did at camp. It's just the week after that.
Yeah, that everything falls apart.
Not me. My roller coaster of spiritual highs and low spiritual lows of depravity is within the first couple hours of camp. And I stay at the low. I stay at the low because that enables me to do really, really savage pranks that cross some serious lines. I mean, I've been banned from numerous church camps because of that philosophy. I go in there at a low from the previous summer. Annie, I don't even wait for a person like you to speak. I'm like, God, I'm here. I'm a good person now. I get tempted. I fall into it, and then I'm just horrible the rest of camp. And
what kind of, Jesse, when you and your friends would go to camp, like, I think we've learned enough about your friends to know that y'all were your own rabid pack of people.
We negotiated with the counselor right off the gate.
Yeah,
we said, listen,
sure.
you can do this. We can do this the easy way.
And it was the college guy, right? It was like the college guy who.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We're like, look, Chief, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. You don't want to do it the hard way.
Chief.
We have an arrangement, you and I, like this struggle that we are locked in. You can turn a blind eye, or we can make this the worst week of your life.
That's
literally.
right. That's right.
I've seen counselors break down and cry. Like it's just coming to an agreement, right? It's like, you paying off the prison warden with a carton of cigarettes right when you enter in. Like, we got a deal, Chief. We got a deal.
Man, the camp I grew up going to in my church's youth group used to have the thing was sneaking out. That was your goal, was to sneak out every night. And it just got to where it was almost counselors versus campers every year, and then one year,
a massive game of tag, essentially. I mean, it's
it's essentially middle of the night tag. Yeah.
Sneaking off to where? Where would you go?
Oh, you just were out. Just being out was the trick. Just being out and seeing other campers being out. That was it. There was no win. And then one year I was a counselor, so I was on that side of the tag, and a kid jumped into a ditch, and there was a rattlesnake in it. And he screams and jumps out. It didn't bite him. He screams and jumps out, and counselors are close enough, because tag. Counselors are close enough that they realized, and the next morning the youth pastor got up and he was like, okay, for the rest of history of camp, for years and years to come, no one sneaks out. No counselors are out. No campers are out. Like, there are snakes. And it stopped
Okay.
it. It really did. It
There are
stopped it because the
snakes.
snakes
He's just
scared
going to
people.
tell everybody that to keep them. It's
I
like
was there,
I
Cameron.
saw
There
M.
were
Night
snakes.
Shyamalan's The Village. I know how that scare tactic works.
I'm telling you.
I remember the last time I got in trouble at a camp, I was actually a counselor there. And it was
true.
like
That's very
my
true.
buddy.
Is this a story you can tell publicly?
Well, I think the statute of limitations has passed. It's been a couple years because they haven't asked me to help out in any church youth events. Since then. But like we get to like a buddy of mine at the time was like, I had a friend who's like a youth pastor and he asked me to come. He's like, we're short on adults for this trip, which baffles me why he asked me to come if that's the case.
How old were you?
I mean,
Are you like in your 20s?
30? Yeah.
No way. Were you really?
Yeah, this wasn't that long ago.
That's hilarious.
And so as soon as we get to the cabin, I'm like, all right, guys, no rules. If you're in my cabin, literally, I don't care. I do not care. I want to establish that right now. And they're like, for real? I'm like, absolutely. I don't care what you do. So we all snuck out. We started like a little bonfire.
We all snuck out. You snuck out with your kids.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
you
With
let
my
it.
whole cabin.
Of course.
And like other
And
people.
how old are the guys? Are they high schoolers?
Yeah, they're like, but they were like young high school, like 14. Like all the other
gosh.
like we were walking around and all the other cabins are like peeking out. Like, how come they get to go out past, lights out or whatever? And I'm just waving to them like, cause your counselor's lame. So we went out and we started a little
that's
fire
hilarious.
and we did our own thing and we ran out of firewood. And so some of us counselors, we did like our own exploration during the day during one of those lame activities like kickball or something. Like we went out exploring and we found an old abandoned barn with some old axes back there. It was super cool.
Oh
Though
my
it may
gosh.
have been a serial killer hideout. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, for sure.
we decided to hike back to the barn, take one of those old rusty axes and cut down like just a giant tree on the premises and we burned it as a fire. Literally, we're leaving the next day and the road like out of the camp, like it goes by where the tree was and it was a majestic tree that had probably been there for decades. And you see these people from that like work at the camp like standing around the stump with their hands on their head like, how did this tree disappear in the night? Who would have done such a thing? So, I feel like at camp, you just make your own rules, you make your own fun,
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
I mean, Annie, no pressure, but like literally the most, top 3 most memorable spiritual experiences I've had encountering God was at youth camp.
Yeah.
You
too.
are, that's a lot of pressure.
The top 3 most memorable distracting people from having a memorable spiritual experience happened at youth camp. The bottom 3 are on this podcast numerous times.
No, I don't think it's pressure. I think it's awesome. I think it is. I mean, there's something that happens when you pull away from your phone and your community and you're just with other students and your leaders. And I love it. I think it's awesome.
Is it a place where there's no cell signal?
I mean, there is cell signal. They just don't have phones, supposedly.
Supposedly.
But yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah.
supposedly they don't have their phones.
Yeah.
I got mine. Don't you worry about that. I'm not here to get saved. I got my phone.
Saved.
We have a great show coming up. This has been a difficult week. A lot. I mean, I could literally say that every week,
Yeah.
given the news. But a lot of conversation around what happened with Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain, and a lot of talk about mental health and depression and suicide. And we have coming up later Jamie Tworkowski, who runs an amazing organization,
yay.
To Write Love on Our Arms. He's a good friend, known him for years, and he's coming up later because he's been really one of the leaders in that conversation in the faith world. So
Yeah.
that's going to be
I love
a
that
great
guy.
conversation. Yeah, Jamie's the best.
Yeah.
Before we move the show along, I have some news, Annie.
Okay.
There's an update on
Oh
the
my gosh, I'm so ready.
on the Hood to Coast race.
I know. Here we go.
The
Here we
big
go.
200-mile relay that we're doing from
man.
Mount Hood to the coast near Portland to raise money to build wells in South Sudan. Here's the big news, big update. It's happening in late August. Jesse pulled out.
I did.
What?
Can I tell you why? If as listeners to this podcast know, I have a standing trip to the Jersey Shore, a family vacation to the Jersey Shore, which honestly, I look at it two ways. One, it's a family. It's we all go with Dana's family. And Cameron, you know, I've gone on this trip, like 12 straight years. I record the podcast from there every year. I do a Jersey Shore episode.
Yeah, you always have like the situation come through and Mike and Pauly D.
Exactly. Yeah. I look at it as part vacation, but part just research for more stories, because anything goes. Jersey Shore is very lawless, as people know, and anything goes up there. And there's a lot of cool stories that come. But, I went to go officially register for Cameron's team last night, and I looked at the dates. I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought it was the previous week. It conflicts with Jersey Shore week, and there's no way I cannot go to Jersey Shore. I would be banned from the family if I missed that. So Cameron, you, I want to say you're on your own, but I like to feel like that I was sort of the wind beneath your sails on this thing. How are you feeling?
Yeah, you were going to carry the load,
knowing that Scottie Pippen, or maybe in this scenario, no offense, I'm probably Jordan, you're Pippen, that Jordan's out. Is it?
Dude, in this scenario, I'm Bill Cartwright. All right, let's be honest. Oh man, I know. I'm nervous now. I mean, we still have a full team, but
yeah.
I mean, Cameron, what's the update on your leg though?
Stress fracture. I'm in a walking cast right now.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
Cameron,
I can't.
I
haven't been able to run.
Teams, Cameron, can we just give money and you just stay home?
No.
How much money could we raise to get Cameron to stay home?
You cannot hobble this race.
I know. My goal is 10,000 to run it. If y'all triple it, then maybe I'll back out.
Cameron, how about this? A race wheelchair. Those are super fast.
Isn't a wheelchair just a race wheelchair?
No, they have race wheelchairs.
I think it's called a bicycle. I think you're thinking of a bicycle.
And it's hood to coast, so it's mostly downhill. Your main thing is braking the whole time,
Yeah, something's going to break.
So my hand grips, my hand, I got to be working out my grip strength.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is, I mentioned when we had our listener of the week on last week, she worked at a running shoe store, and I asked if there were carbon fiber blades for people that aren't amputees, like that they could just connect to their shoes and get that kind of hop. And some people on Twitter sent me these things called kangaroos, and it is a boot. Yeah. It is a boot with these carbon fiber springs that you can kind of leap forward with giant strides. Cameron, I think that the flex in the carbon fiber would give you relief to your stress fracture. If we pitch in to get you a pair, they're like $300. How open would you be to kangarooing the hood to coast race?
No, I know that the Orlando Magic hype crew wear them, and there's people down at Universal City Walk and stuff that wear them, and they do backflips.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I've seen Beetlejuice do a gainer.
These are all over Orlando. Basically, Mayor Dyer wears these things. Yeah. No, this is the primary mode of transportation in Orlando, Florida. Is these springy shoes.
Required footwear at many places of employment. Little known fact.
I mean, when you drive to work in the morning in Orlando, it's people just hopping around town. I mean, everybody uses these to get to point A to point. They don't even use crosswalks. You just bound your way over cars. It's a
part of the sustainability effort here.
Right.
It's like
we don't have very good public transportation, so we just we built into the tax system that every citizen gets the trash cans that you put out the side of the road,
yes,
and you get the springy shoes.
It's just really cutting down on the emissions around here.
And the thing is, it's like every day is living in a level of Super Mario Brothers. It's fantastic. You're just you just jump everywhere.
Yeah.
What did the doctor say? Let's back up to your actual injury. Did he say, yeah, sure, you'll be running a race by August?
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, where there's a will, there's a way.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not in pain anymore. The walking cast in a matter of 3, 4, 5 days has radically transformed my pain and swelling situation. I think I'll be back to normal before you know it. I'm still working out in this thing. I mean, I'm not able to do the running, but I'll do the strength and other conditioning that I can in the boot.
Hey, Cameron,
it's fine.
This is real.
I'm not worried about it.
Question, because this is raising money for a very good cause.
Right.
How much would it take for us to raise for you to hop this thing in those blade kangaroo shoes? If we committed listener, because right now it's 10,000. If we get to 15, will you do it in the kangaroos?
No, I don't want to. I mean, there's
25.
There's tens of thousands of people that run this thing. This is a big race. This isn't like Boston Marathon, New York Marathon, but it's tens of thousands of people. Yeah. It's a 200-mile relay race. It goes 24 hours. It's a big race.
And you don't want to be the one guy out there hopping.
I don't think it's tens of thousands of people.
I'm not going to show up in springy boots because Jesse thought it'd be funny.
$100,000, Cameron. If we can raise $100,000, will you do it in the kangaroo boots?
That's a lot of wells.
$100,000 and Cameron will hop the race in kangaroo shoes. Is that a deal?
That is so much money.
Because, hey, listen, we can get this thing filmed, and I'm just picturing like everyone at the starting line, like these face of athletes, like with a Tensaga focus. They're all, it's the Pacific Northwest, fog lifting over the horizon, everyone's stretching, and then it like pulls out and Cameron's hopping around on the sideline, getting ready of literally 3 miles of hopping. I think that's worth $100,000.
I agree with you, man. I mean, hey, the only reason why I'm doing this is, number one, like you do your psychological endurance challenges to see if you can do it, to see what you're capable of. I'm doing it because in my entire life, I've never done anything like this, never would do anything like this. So it's like, can I? That's a major question I still have yet to answer.
The answer is no. The answer is no. You have a broken foot. The answer is actually no, you cannot do this.
Once again, Annie, Cameron, don't listen to those voices of discouragement. You can do it, and you can do it with kangaroo carbon fiber.
This is a voice of friendship trying to save your
But the main thing is to raise money to build wells for South Sudan and bring clean water to people who need it. So, I mean, if you're saying I can have greater impact by doing the springy kangaroo shoes,
I'm going to look at the race bylaws today to find out that's not against any kind of rule. But $100,000's a big target. But I think you would inspire the world if people just saw you jumping down Mount Hood.
You would be our Slice the next week.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
How do you? Yeah, wait, I didn't think about that because we're going to start at 6,000 feet elevation and go down to 0. How do you go downhill in kangaroo boots?
That's like 4. It's only like 4 hops. It's only 4 very dangerous hops.
4 hops.
4 dangerous hops. I mean, I'm thinking because like that thing's going to spring you because you're at an angle. That thing's going to spring you out. I mean, like, you're covering a lot of territory.
Again, $100,000.
This is going to be great.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
The $100,000 memorial fund.
Oh my gosh, Cameron!
That escalated so quickly.
Well, I don't know how I'd make it down the hill.
I'm going to legit contact the company that makes those kangaroo shoes and be like, this is the PR opportunity of a lifetime, and all it's going to cost you is $100,000.
Do it, Jesse.
This is the IHOB of racing.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of which, it is time for our look back at what happened this week in culture and entertainment. It's time for
In Case You Missed It.
Hey, in case you missed it, this week, NFL star Malcolm Jenkins did an entire interview using protest signs. The Eagles star safety gave the unique interview after the White House announced that the Super Bowl champs would be disinvited from visiting, which is customary for all the champions. The White House cited demonstrations during the national anthem, even though no member of the Eagles took a knee during the anthem all year. Using a series of handwritten posters, Jenkins explained to reporters about the injustices that players are concerned about. He wrote, "You're not listening. More than 60% of people in prison are people of color. Chris Long gave his entire year's salary to educational initiatives. Colin Kaepernick gave $1 million to charity. In 2018, 439 people were shot and killed by police thus far."
Man.
Powerful.
Yeah.
And went viral.
Yeah.
Did y'all listen to the most recent This American Life episode? Was about a high school in a prison in New Orleans. Have y'all heard about this?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I listened to it last night.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful story and hard story, but of them really doing like an actual high school in a prison. And when I was listening to the story, they said they're talking about the prison and they are like, and every student in the high school is black.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, wait, like for some reason that line really stuck out to me. Like they just told that as part of the story that these teachers are going in. And it's an amazing story of how they're getting high school degrees, but how it seems to be a little bit of an unfair system.
Yeah, sure.
And that's the whole thing that those demonstrations are trying to draw attention to. And on that, in that respect, I think they've been pretty effective. I think people are more aware of those injustices,
I mean, but 80% of the people who have an opinion about the NFL demonstration still think that they're protesting the national anthem or the flag.
Yeah.
Right.
They're ignorant.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to hear you say that, Jesse, because that's my understanding too, is that when you talk about the protests, people are genuinely think that this is about
we should respect the veterans. We should respect America. You should be proud of your country. I mean, they're getting the entire point
Wow,
wrong.
deep voice.
Yeah, well, that was the NFL fan. That was the ignorant NFL fan impression.
I'm not saying they haven't been misinterpreted by a broad audience, but I also think they're creating conversations that wouldn't happen otherwise by the people who do understand what it's about.
I had an interesting conversation with just some random person on Twitter over the weekend. I've been following more conservative voices on Twitter just so that I'm not only hearing people that agree with me.
It's important.
You know, and this guy, his name is Billy Kirk, and I think he was following something the NRA said. And we got into this discussion where we're going back and forth about that kind of thing, about respecting your country, all that kind of stuff. And it was surprising because usually I just get really frustrated with those kind of conversations and be like, all right, I'm going to block you now. But we went back and forth and really got to challenge some of the things that he said. And he asked some really good questions of me. And at the end, it was just like, man, you know, I don't want to talk to you anymore, but this was really fun. We both, we had that exchange at the end. And I wonder
Did
how
other people jump in, Andre?
No one else jumped in, which is also surprising. It was just me and Billy Kirk.
You know what's interesting, kind of along those lines, is I was after the tragic news about Anthony Bourdain kind of broke this week. I was listening to some old interviews and things with him, and he talked about kind of that same thing, Andre, to a degree, of making an effort to listen to people. Like, part of his ethos was to listen to people that think differently than him. Like, he was politically pretty progressive, but would actively seek to have meals with people who thought dramatically different. And he's like, his point was, at some point, everyone can enjoy a good meal, no matter what you believe. And to start with those common points of humanity, it's like, at least you get outside the echo chamber. Even if no one leaves with their minds changed, at least they can see kind of the humanity on the other side.
I think that's why we have to keep telling our stories, right? I mean, I think that's one of the reasons that no matter where you sit on any spectrum, you should tell your story, because we need to hear each other and what we're experiencing, even if it doesn't change our minds.
Yeah.
That'll preach. You should say that tonight at camp.
Okay.
I feel like I might have taken this somewhere else that I might regret if it makes it onto the air in this way, because as I think about it, I think like the whole reason of having to sit down and use a bunch of posters and say, this is what's going on, is the fact that there is one side of the conversation that is being dismissed and not being listened to and being silenced. And at some point you do have to say, like, you know what, like, sometimes, one of these perspectives is right. Like, let's come to the table and let's talk, let's have a meal. And at the same time, like, listen to us.
There are times. Yeah, you're right.
I think I was just saying they're not necessarily mutually exclusive. Like, I'm not to discount the protest, but that or any other means to get people's attention. But like you were saying, Andre, engaging in those conversations can also be a fruitful exercise.
Well,
I just agree with you, Andre. I think what you did, you were probably way right in the conversation with that guy, but what you did by listening to him was sitting down at the table with him.
Yeah, I think a good example of this is Colin Kaepernick himself, right? Like, he started by not standing for the anthem at all. He said, I'm not going to stand for the anthem because it's a contradiction. We have all these democratic creeds, all these anti-democratic practices. And he spoke with a veteran that got him to compromise on kneeling instead of just sitting down, And maybe that's a good example of how that comes together,
Man, and how could he have ever imagined that one decision spiraling into this?
Yeah.
Not bad spiraling, just growing, just like tornadically spiraling into it being such a national conversation and so many people involved.
I think what you're saying is key, though, about, like, I think a lot of people who in some perspectives might be on the wrong side of, or have the wrong perspective on a situation, having maybe some grace for the fact that they might just literally live in a bubble where they don't know the correct perspective. So continuing to say, this is what it's about. I remember there was an interview a year after the election, CNN kind of, they do those, it's almost like tedious to watch, but like during the election season, they'll have like focus groups, on TV, and then, of different perspectives and raise your hand, this, that, whatever. they a year later they called back one of the groups, and it was like 4 or 5 people, and it was maybe 6, 7, and it was like half very strong Trump supporters and half who had been Clinton supporters. And they were just talking about the state of things. And one of the things that struck me was one of the ladies who was a very ardent Trump supporter was so proud of the statement, "Make America Great Again." Mm-hmm. And one of the other people that were in the group, African-American guy, that was troubling to him. That phrase was troubling to him. And she couldn't understand it because from her context, she's just talking about, in her mind, she shared that it was that America had lost its place in the global stage, that America, manufacturing, job strength, military strength, that we had become too passive in the global context. And so she saw it as "Make America Great Again" in the global context. How could you disagree with that? Yeah. And he said, it's not "Make America Great" that I disagree with. It's the word "again." Yeah. Because as a black man in America, when was America great for me and my community? Right. Yeah. And her jaw drops. And she had never understood. Yeah. She just saw the liberals, picking that phrase apart, and it made her more ardent and more bold to defend it. Yeah. Because she saw it as a globalism thing. And she wasn't going to stand for you wiping and making America the same as just Germany and every other European country. That's how she saw it. She never saw it through the eyes of an African-American man who saw it, let's go backwards, more oppression, more racism, more bigotry, more... No, I don't want that America. Yeah. Let's make it great like it's never been before. And then she all of a sudden understood that it was the word "again" that was dividing America. Yeah. And she never saw it like that. It changed her worldview. It changed everything. She still supported Trump, but she had more empathy and understanding for what was harming other people and hurting other people in her verbiage. And it was just like, that wouldn't have happened had he not stood up and said something. Yeah. No. And I feel like what these guys, the NFL guys, are doing is like, they keep pounding it. They are not anti-America. They're not anti-anthem. They're not anti-flag. Yeah. They're trying to change the conversation to this other thing. And hopefully the media or the national narrative will, there will be eyes opened and there'll be understanding. Yeah. But come on. Hey, in case you missed it, a United Pursuit worship leader blew away the judges on America's Got Talent this week. Some viewers may have recognized the voice of Michael Ketterer. He's released several worship albums over the years with United Pursuit. But he was a new name to Simon Cowell and the judges on America's Got Talent. So this week, his appearance on the show went viral after he told his powerful personal story. He's a pediatric mental health nurse, and he and his wife have 6 children, 5 of whom were adopted from foster care. His cover of "To Love Somebody" this week brought the crowd and the judges to their feet. Simon Cowell even walked on stage and hugged him afterward. Here's a clip.
The way that I love you. Oh, the way that I love you. And though you'll never know, you'll never ever know just the way that I love you. Oh, the way that I love you.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah. I'm still a sucker for those. Like, I don't actively, like, America's Got Talent's the only one I will watch because especially
you watch the whole show?
No, I don't watch the whole show. It's the only one even if I'm flipping through, I'll watch early on because there's a good chance there's going to be like a novelty act of someone like juggling chainsaws while hopping around on kangaroo blades,
It's just NBA halftime shows combined with some singers.
Well, it cut the singers out and that's perfect. You know me, I love halftime shows. My favorite time of halftime shows are the kind that clearly what was planned fell through at the last minute and they got to get the local guy with 7 frisbee dogs out there. I love halftime shows where anything is about to go horribly, horribly wrong. But I will say this. I'm a sucker for these moments that go viral on singing shows. I don't know why, but it still gets me. It still gets me, even though I don't watch them. This was a great moment.
There you go. All right. In case you missed it, you mentioned IHOP earlier. The Savage Wendy's Twitter account ruined IHOP's announcement that they were now the International House of Burgers. This week, the former Pancake House revealed that the B in IHOB, their new name, stands for burgers.
This has got to be a joke, right? Surely
No.
they're going to switch back.
I have strong feelings that Annie's correct. I
Yeah?
think it is the most brilliant
Yeah.
marketing ploy to change the narrative and say, hey, we have great burgers too. And then they're going to go back to being just
Dude,
IHOP.
I think
For sure. They're not going to pay to change all the signs.
the second I see, millions of signs getting $10,000 each to get swapped out
Yes.
is when I'll believe
Yes.
it.
I
Same, Cameron.
I think they might try to play it off, but I think this is a Crystal Pepsi moment. Like a giant product
Really?
launch for something that no one asked for and no one wants. I think it should.
Or like when Colgate, do y'all remember when Colgate made frozen dinners?
No. The toothpaste
No.
brand?
Yes. Yes.
What?
This is the same. Yes. Google it. Colgate made frozen dinners for a minute, and this feels like that.
Well, it didn't take long for Wendy's, who owns the most savage Twitter feed on the internet, to take aim at the new burger rival. They tweeted, remember when you were like 7 and thought changing your name to Thunder Bear Sword would be super cool? Like that, but our cheeseburgers are still better. And then it followed it with,
So funny.
and then there was another one where like they were commenting on it and one of the people, tweeted them and said like, ooh, y'all nervous about a competitor? And the Wendy's reply was, not really afraid of the burgers from a place that decided pancakes were too hard.
Oh my god!
I got a piece of advice for IHOB that comes from The Wire. If you're gonna shoot for the king, you best not miss because
Dude,
Yeah.
speaking of King, did you see what they did? Burger King changed
King.
their entire Twitter persona, their cover, their name to Pancake King.
Yeah.
And they had pancakes as their cover photo. And yeah.
Steakums
I'm telling
changed
ya.
theirs too to Cakeums. Did you see that? They changed their entire Twitter feed to Cakeums.
My favorite, okay, so Wendy's obviously is the most savage. Taco Bell's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys follow Moon Pies.
No.
Those weird southern.
I didn't
Moon
even know
Pies has a
Moon Pie
great
still
Twitter
existed.
account. Yeah, no, that's the
Yeah,
whole
they're
thing.
based
So
out
they
of
have this whole
Nashville.
self-aware, self-deprecating Twitter feed. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Moon Pies is great, and Wendy's is great, and then who's the other one? Oh, Hot Pockets. They're in on it.
Yeah.
Hot Pockets is pretty
wow.
good. Yeah, Pop-Tarts as well, because Pop-Tarts had this whole thing on Twitter, like, is a Pop-Tart a ravioli?
Oh yeah.
Is a Pop-Tart
I
a
have heard this
ravioli? That's an
debate
amazing
before.
question.
So when that
Of course it is.
when that went viral, Pop-Tarts on Twitter chimed in and they became one of those brand personas too. It's really
Maybe
funny.
I'm just
Wow.
hungry,
Yeah.
but all
How
of a
did I
sudden
miss
I have an irresistible craving for both Pop-Tarts and ravioli right now. Like both sound fantastic.
Man, ravioli out of the can is the best and the worst. Like it's so gross and so good.
It is like the first bite is like, this was a great decision. Halfway through their can, and it's like, what have I become? Like I'm living like I'm in like a post-apocalyptic dystopia for no reason. This was a horrible decision.
Cohen
mean-
has recently discovered the Chef Boyardee little mini raviolis and stuff, and that's like all he asks for anymore. I mean,
yeah.
obviously you have to ration it out, but yeah, they're.
I mean, what is the meat inside of those? We really don't want to know. We don't want to know that secret.
You know what this reminds me of? Have you seen David Chang's new Netflix show, Ugly Delicious?
No.
It came out a
No,
couple
I
months
just
ago.
heard about
I've
it at
heard
dinner
of
last
it.
night, though. Someone was telling me.
So I was talking to Jesse about this. I this entire weekend I had no plans, so I watched an Anthony Bourdain marathon.
Okay.
Travel Channel had no reservations on. And
Yeah.
like nonstop, and it was interesting because No Reservations obviously put him on the map after his Kitchen Confidential book and all that in the 10-15 years ago, but it ended around 10 or 11 somewhere around there. So it's just interesting to see Anthony Bourdain 10 years ago. And then switch over and watch the CNN show as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was watching that nonstop. After a while, just literally after like 24 hours of it, I was like, I should mix this up.
Wow, Cameron,
But I was
wow.
in a food world. So I ended up watching David Chang's Ugly Delicious, and it's really good. And it's just an interesting contrast of an evolution of what Anthony started. He actually gets a little bit more global. And he gets into issues of race and classism and different things. It's really interesting, like through food, illuminating bigger conversations. But Ugly Delicious, his whole thing is he's one of the world renowned fine dining. He started Mama Fuko in Brooklyn, and he has an empire now. But he loves junk food, and he loves simple food, and he loves like beef ravioli from Chef Boyardee,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And so it's like him like taking all his fine dining friends, and some of it is introducing them to the food he loves, and then like also kind of breaking down like society and like what this food means to us, and like all this. It's really
is
great.
it a series or a long documentary, Cameron?
8 episode series. So it's
cool.
each standalone, kind of like Anthony Bourdain, but he'll take like one theme, like he'll do like barbecue, or he'll do tacos,
Yeah,
or
he did
pizza.
a hot chicken one, right? A Nashville hot chicken one.
He did a fried chicken one. And that was one narrative of it, but it was so interesting how he went from Tokyo to, all over the world, looking at how every culture loves fried chicken, but it is uniquely racist in America. And he talked about the slave history of why that happened. And like, because David Chang, didn't really understand the racial implications of loving fried chicken, or for certain races to love fried chicken in America. So he got into it with some like African Americans, historians and stuff, and like really learned. And it was eye-opening, man.
Wow.
It was like, I watched this one just last night. It was powerful. And
That
it was
sounds
just
amazing.
like exploring fried chicken. It was just like, yeah.
All I can hear is Dave Chappelle talking about fried chicken right now.
He played those clips.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the thing. He said watching that episode was one of the first times he realized like, wait, there's something more to this than I realized as a Korean American. This is interesting. Crazy. Watch it. Ugly Delicious. It's a really good
Ugly
series.
Delicious. All right.
Hey, in case you missed it, Jessica Chastain partly credited Bible teachings for being a leader in the gender equality movement in Hollywood. The Hollywood Reporter cover story titled How Jessica Chastain Emerged as a Leader for Gender Equality opens with Chastain quoting the idea of doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. The story explains, Terrence Malick is the one who brought the precisely religion-free Chastain the word during the production of Tree of Life. Terry is an incredible thinker and a very religious person, and working on that character that is the embodiment of grace, I read a lot of teachings. That's the one that struck me the most. If we could just do that, I think we'd solve every problem, right? Terrence Malick frequently incorporates scripture into his films. Along with becoming a leading voice in the Time's Up movement, she's become an advocate for equal pay, particularly for women of color. She recently founded the female-led Freckle Films, which gives actresses equity in the movies they star in. She also worked with Oscar-winning actress Octavia Spencer to help her negotiate a salary 5 times higher than the one she was originally offered. She
I
explained
love that story.
I knew women of color got paid less than Caucasian actresses. What I didn't know is someone of Octavia's level who had an Oscar and 2 Oscar nominations, how much less she would be getting paid. When she told me what she was making, that's what really made me go, hold up, that doesn't compute in my brain. I care more about what Octavia is getting paid than what I'm getting paid, because I've got a great life. I'm more concerned about her than I am about me. Equal pay for equal work. Come on.
Wow.
Come on.
I mean,
that's one of the interesting spaces or interesting problems in the preaching space too, is in any spaces, you don't know what other people are making. And so you have no idea. There's no
transparency.
In a lot of these, there's no transparency. And I don't know how you get transparency, but in a lot of these spaces, like for actresses, they just didn't know what each other was making, so they couldn't stand up for each other, right? And the same is a little bit true in a lot of different jobs. And in the job I'm in, you just have no idea what other people are making. And so you just are grateful. And I am, but it is really something interesting.
that camp, they're offering you free meals, a warm cot.
No. And I know.
Free pair
I
of blade jumpers, kangaroos.
Listen, I'm not
Use at your own
complaining.
risk.
I am merely saying y'all know me. I'm very happy. I have an awesome life. I'm not complaining about anything. I'm just saying in y'all's jobs, it's probably true too. Cameron, you don't know what your peers are making. Right? Other people who run, you don't know. None of us, it's one of the most interesting parts of work is you don't actually know in majority of fields what your peers are making.
Cameron, do you have
pastors don't know what
peers?
other pastors are making.
Yeah.
I have friends. I don't know. I've never thought of it. I don't care what they make. I don't know. That's interesting.
I mean, you don't care what they make unless you heard that they were making 3 times what if you were being brought in. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but that's different because like I with Relevant, like if I want to make more, I need to make Relevant more successful. You know,
Sure,
so
sure.
it's a little bit different than being a speaker and getting a fee. You know,
yeah. But when you think about those actresses and just think, man, as soon as Jessica Chastain knew, she stepped in for Octavia Spencer, and probably Octavia Spencer had no idea how much the discrepancy was.
But
And I
wouldn't
think that's
her-
really cool.
Shouldn't her agent know? I mean, Octavia doesn't need to know, but her representation should absolutely know.
all these agencies know.
They know.
I mean,
they know what they're negotiating for other clients of their own. You know,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That bothers me. Like she needs to fire her agent.
Yeah, I'm kind of fired up and trying to hold it in a bit.
No,
Because
I
it
don't
just-
want you to. That's what I want. Go,
let it loose.
Go.
Let it loose.
I mean, it just speaks to me about like people typically know that the world is unjust. Like there's someone who knows, just like you said, like the agents know. And this is all tied to like when we talk about Time's Up, Me Too, even tying back to other stories we talked about today, to discrepancies in the criminal justice system. People know that these things exist, but for some reason, everyone stays in line, you know? And I've been reading a lot about this, just personally, just about how societies work and how they change. And talking about why do people go along with these things? And a huge part of it is that, you know, there is a mass of bystanders and people who could do something. It's all about participation, right? Like that's how these things are maintained, is that people just go along with it and they don't realize that they can take the authority. They can take power away from who we think are power holders. You know, so we tend to think that like there's like a billionaire at the top of this one company, right? Harvey Weinstein, for instance, right? And he has power, and we think of power as like an object, like the coffee cup that's in front of me, you know, and you have to take that power away from him to change things. But really, at the end of the day, it's all of the people that are enabling him that have the power, and they can take that power away from him. And so when I think about this thing with like Jessica Chastain, like it takes people who are a part of that system, who are participants or whatever role, to say, you know, I'm not going to go along with this anymore. You know,
But the other thing that about the Jessica Chastain story too, along with kind of, you know, helping with the negotiations for Octavia Spencer's latest contract, like even creating new models that rethink things that enable institutional discrepancies and injustices, like, you know, the film company she started, the first movie that it's producing stars Lupita Nyong'o, and, you know, in addition to paying her, it's also giving her and the other people who star in it equity. And so it's like, I'm going to think of a new model that hopefully down the road can look for a long-term institutional solution.
Right.
You know, I don't know that that's the solution, but it's interesting kind of with that approach that maybe there are actually new models out there too that can, you know, provide institutional solutions.
It's like how a bunch of actors said, we're not signing any contracts unless there's a diversity writer in there or something like that. You know, it takes that for people who are involved in whatever. It's when NFL players say, you know what, like if you're going to treat our teammates that protest this way, we're not going to play. You know, it's in each of those situations.
The business will adapt because the studio want this A-list star in my movie, and
But
he won't
so what you're saying
participate.
is it's the artists, not the agents. And not the people. It's the artists who need to be standing up, not the people negotiating the contracts.
Every single person in every situation has power, is what I'm saying, and they can refuse it.
I mean, like the agent, if nothing else, needed to, in my mind, make Olivia Spencer aware of this is what we're up against.
Yeah.
And I want you to know transparently that studios are offering my other female clients X amount and they're offering you X amount.
Yeah.
And I'm fighting the good fight, but I'm just telling you what I'm up against. I mean, he should have been telling her that because it sounded like she didn't know, you know, like you said, like you don't know what the other actresses are making. And then all of a sudden now she can be more vocal. She's an Oscar winner.
Yeah.
She is a prize cast, you know, like she is somebody that will make your film great.
Yeah.
So it's like, she can start putting her foot down or empowering him to put his foot down versus just going, oh, yeah, I'd love to be in that movie. And yeah, sure, whatever they're offering, I'll take, you know, that kind of a thing, you know, like
Man,
be
that
more
is
aware.
so high risk, though.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a high risk because everyone else is going along with the modus operandi, right? Everyone else is going along with the status quo, you know?
I used to be on a board of trustees for a university. And one of the things that shocked me coming from being a small business, because me, like, this whole pay inequity just baffles me. I mean, like, it was just because, like, I grew up with my parents own their own company 50-50. They have 200 employees. My mom's the CFO. She kind of runs the business. My dad's he runs the product side, and they're partners. Our dinner table every night was their daily wrap up meeting, and I just 8-year-old eat my chicken, just listening to them talk about personnel issues and the day's deposit and stuff like that.
Ravioli right out of a can and over here.
Pizza, tacos, fried chicken.
And so I just saw their approach to it, and she was a peer to my dad. Like I was raised by powerful women, and then when I started Relevant, it would never even occur to me. I pay for talent and experience. I don't care what gender or color you are. I want you to come and apply your talent and experience here and help us grow. And we have different tiers, for directors and managers and new employees, but like I don't think about any other factor other than qualifications. And then, like, I was on this board at Oral Roberts University. I was on the board of trustees for 5 years, and it was fascinating to see how academia does pay. They have hard numbers. I mean, there's no negotiation. There's no, well, we'll pay men this and women this or anything. There's like, oh, you are X number of years in, you are this tier position, and this is what it pays. And that's just it. And I thought that was fascinating and almost like not a model. I wouldn't say we should adopt that in capitalism, but like it was fascinating to see that it really was a thing of like, oh, well, I did X, Y, and Z, and so I get to go up a tier now. Yeah. And like there was no negotiations. Wow. Which I thought was fascinating. Like for, a different approach to compensation discussions, maybe academia is onto something. I don't know. Anyway.
And there's transparency too.
Complete transparency. To Annie's point, I know exactly what the other professors are making. Like I know exactly what the support staff is making.
Well, I mean, it's the same way the military operates. Like it's about ranking. And I'm not saying it's a perfect model, but I'm just saying there's transparency there,
And aren't churches like that? I mean, because they're nonprofits, don't they have to kind of do an annual report to the tithers that here's where the money goes?
When I worked in church, I didn't know how much anybody was making on staff with me.
Yeah. That's the thing, man. I mean, y'all know this real well, but when money and Jesus, when Christian stuff and money stuff get mixed up, I think that's why he talks about it all the time, is because it never stressed him out. It just stresses us out.
Yeah.
See, I went to a church growing up. I just remember this. Like once a quarter, they would put the church budget in the bulletin, including
but would it
salaries.
say what the pastor was getting out of the budget? Because at the
100%.
bottom of every, I mean, I always see the giving at the bottom at churches.
We saw his salary. He made $65,000.
Wow.
I mean, I saw his salary. I mean, like, I remember as a kid going, oh, that's what he makes. I thought he would make more than that. Like, I mean.
Yeah. And you were like, I'm not becoming a pastor.
I'm not going to the ministry. I remember, I mean, this is years ago. One of our friends, pastor of Quest in Seattle, Eugene Cho, just stepped down. He announced he's going to be stepping down from his church. And I was at a gathering of leaders. This was a smaller gathering, but he shared this openly and he shared it with many talks. But he was talking about kind of their ministry and what they're doing, and he runs an organization called One Day's Wages. And he started to talk by he stood in front of, I mean, this is a room of kind of like a lot of powerful big ministries, like the heads of major NGOs and stuff. And he stood up and he goes, my name is Eugene Cho. I run an organization called One Day's Wages. I make $65,000 a year. And that's how he started his talk. Wow. And it was complete transparency. And he was saying, we need to change the way that the church talks about money. Yeah. And we also, everybody can give something sacrificially. Everybody can give and make a greater impact. I don't care. He's like, $65,000 in Seattle, Washington is actually not much money. We have to live, in some cities, that's a lot of money. In Seattle, it's not. And my family and I, and he talked about, and he said, but still, the ethics, the ethos of giving sacrificially is something that we've adopted. And that's what his talk was about. But I just it was so refreshing that he did that. Yeah. He opened it up that way. I had so much respect for Eugene after that, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, it's even like, I mean, years ago I don't think it was like any surprise for someone like a Rick Warren who has a book that sells, it's in every bookstore in the world. And, Purpose Driven Life was this like giant hit, and he started reverse tithing, and it's like, he's not asking other people to do that, but he started giving away 90% and keeping 10, and
I can tell you, I've known Rick for years. He's a friend and a mentor. Like, he's changed my life. Yeah. And that is real. When
I love
Purpose
that.
Driven Life broke out, he repaid every dollar that the church ever paid him in salary. He paid it back to the church. And then he started living on 10% and giving 90% of all the income. And he still lives that way. I mean, still.
That's awesome.
He lives in the same house that he lived in when they started the church 30 years ago.
Wow.
He drives a modest truck. I mean, like he just wants to live this out in a way that say, hey, I mean, it's awesome that the Lord's blessing and there's millions of dollars coming to me, but I want to impact the kingdom. And he's just living like completely selflessly.
And there are some people who impact the kingdom by doing it differently than that.
Of
but
course.
I love what he's, I think he's amazing.
I can't say enough about Rick. I mean, that guy has given his life to it. He's the real deal.
Yeah.
And, he's been raising up generations in Rwanda. I mean, he's got a global, strategy for how the church can lift people out of systemic poverty and change lives and address preventable diseases. And now, after the tragedy that he and his family went through a few years ago, with the son taking his life, he and Kay are leading voices within the church talking about mental health and issues that the church never talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, Rick warned you. Come on.
Yeah. It always goes back there.
Lastly, in case you missed it, this week, Kanye West said that the title of his latest album, Yay, is a reference to the Bible. Oh, Kanye.
This guy.
Here's the question. Is it ye or yay? Like in Yeezy?
Or is in like Yahweh or something like that?
Kanye. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does it have anything to do with the name of God?
No.
Surely not.
Yeah.
Well, here's what he says. He said that the album title isn't a play on his nickname Yeezy, but it's a reference to the Bible's frequent addresses to humanity, as in the King James Version of the Bible, like judge not that ye be not judged, and comfort ye, my people, stayeth your God. He explained in an interview, I believe ye is the most commonly used word in the Bible. He believes that. He doesn't know that, but he believes it.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, it could be. I mean, in the King James, I don't know. I haven't counted them. I started counting them this morning, and I ran up on time for the podcast. It was a narrow lead at that point between
Again, he is a self-proclaimed non-reader of books, so he would not know.
He said, in the Bible, it means you. It went from being Kanye, which means the only one, to just yay or ye, just being a reflection of our good, our bad, our confused, everything. It's more of a reflection of who we are as beings.
I do think at least he's making it not that he's the God in this scenario. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to be representative of, the flaws and confusion that humanity often goes through. I mean, I'm not saying he's a theologian, but it seems like a better approach than calling it Jesus.
He's been doing this a little bit lately, though, right?
Sure.
Like Life of Pablo was supposed to be a reference to Paul, and so for some reason he's trying to tie it back to the Bible.
I just want a red hat that says "Make Ye Great Again."
No,
that album was
make Kanye great again.
That album was terrible, right? Can we agree,
dude? I don't know how he recovers from all this crazy that he's doing right now.
Well, listen, how does he recover from their family being on Family Feud? Let's talk about that. How did they get Kanye to be on Family Feud?
I think that might have been an attempt to recover
from bad art. You cannot recover from Family Feud.
No. Do you know the story?
I don't.
He is the world's biggest Family Feud fan. Like he watches it every night, and I think he reached out to them and said, "It's my dream to be on the show." And
see, this is the thing about Kanye. He is just a normal kind of nerdy dude. Like if you look at him, like I saw him on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, somebody posted a video of he was at a dinner with friends and somebody came up and did table magic. And he's just kind of a goofy, kind of nerdy, aw shucks kind of introvert.
Yeah.
And I think he puts up this big persona of I want to be the creative genius and I want to whatever. And I don't know, it's a need for affirmation and stuff like that. But I think at the end of the day, he just wants to be on Family Feud.
He's just out there living his life.
He just wants people to like him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's just out there living his best life, being rich, doing things that we can't do.
And just getting more.
I mean, he's one of the few humans that could shoot an email to any game show in the world and say, "Hey, I want to come on," and they'd be like, "All right, let's do it. Line it up.
And then
prime
all
time."
the Kardashians do it too.
I mean, listen, if Kanye had 300 followers on Twitter, he'd be doing the exact same. He'd be tweeting the exact same things that he is right now.
That's true. That is true.
I want to see Kanye and the Kardashians go on every game show. Like after watching their Family Feud, I'm like, okay, I have
Go on Jeopardy next.
Wipe out.
Yeah, Wipeout, American Ninja Warrior, Wheel of Fortune, the whole gambit. I want to see them do it, and it's a ratings bonanza. They could, any game show could pay them. They could throw a number at the game show and they'd be like, okay, deal, because like 20 million people are going to watch this. If the Kardashians and the West were on a specially designed American Ninja Warrior course, then they could plausibly
Can you
compete.
imagine?
If they could plausibly complete, not like this one, because I don't think this isn't any shade, but you got to be like a super elite athlete to get even a third of the way
You
through
do.
it. But they had one that like an average Joe on a good day could maybe get through, not without struggling and not without risking falling into that icy pool. But if they design one and the West and the Kardashians were going to be on it, who's not watching? Everyone in America is watching.
The channel that my TV default turns on to is the channel that around dinner time plays Family Feud.
Yeah.
And so like over the last few months, like I've seen more episodes of Family Feud than I've seen in my entire life. Number one, Steve Harvey's fantastic.
He is hilarious.
But can I say this though? Is half of every episode of Family Feud Steve Harvey making exasperated faces just looking off camera?
Sure.
Like they'll say something, and sometimes he'll keep the exasperated face and do a pace around the podium for a minute while the audience just laughs. He doesn't need jokes. All he needs is his face, and that's all that a good host of Family Feud needs.
I wonder if there's a YouTube supercut of Steve Harvey's exasperated faces.
It would be like 27 hours long.
I like, you definitely get the sense when you watch it that he just walked out of the green room. No, he didn't even think about the show. No preparation. He doesn't know what's going on. He's figuring it out while he's on the stage. You know what I mean? Like he's just kind of winging it the whole show. He's great.
My favorite episode of my favorite sketch of SNL for the last year is still the one where Chance the Rapper went on Family Feud, the Family Feud, and he's like Steve Harvey's secret love child, and he has like the big Steve Harvey mustache. He's got the suit. When they cut over, they're introducing every member of the family, and they're like their other son, Jacob, and he's like, "What up, playa?" And the way that Chance delivered it was so much like Steve Harvey. That was my favorite sketch of the whole year.
It was really funny.
All right, well, that'll do it for In Case You Missed It. Stay tuned. Up next, Jamie Tworkowski joins us.
I wish you weren't feeling so sad. I feel what you do. I got that from you. Oh, I shouldn't be so bothered by you. I'll probably be okay if you just went away. Yeah. I still think about the time I spent just trying to grow with you. Maybe I was out of line, but you weren't there. You weren't there.
You're listening to Omar Apollo. The song is Erase. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard the new one from Hillsong, Young and Free, their new single. It's called Just Jesus. Jamie Tworkowski is an author, speaker, advocate, and founder of the organization To Write Love on Our Arms, a nonprofit that focuses on suicide prevention efforts and mental health advocacy. He's also now doing a thing called Heart Camp. If you talk to Jamie, he's doing less and less with To Write Love. He's like kind of entering a new season. I mean, he's the founder. He's still involved, obviously, but he's doing some other things. The Heart Camp. He just did one in LA. He's about to do one in Nashville.
Yeah, he is.
It's just interesting. I love seeing him.
Man, his episode of Fun Therapy is one of my very favorite podcast episodes I've listened to. He is so brilliant, and he's so, the way Jamie talks to people in general is this, but he is so giving in the whole conversation on Fun Therapy, where he's just being real honest and making you feel really welcome to feel what you feel. I'm really grateful for his voice.
Yeah.
Well, this week, suicide has entered back in the national dialogue following the deaths of Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain. We talked with Jamie about what to do when you or someone you love is facing depression and why it's so important to destigmatize mental health issues. Here is Jamie Tworkowski.
A lot of people were saying last week, after kind of the news came out about Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain is that they were kind of surprised because they seem successful and happy, at least outwardly. Do you think that a lot of people still have misconceptions about what depression can look like?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there are misconceptions. I definitely, on a certain level, it totally makes sense because you think these people had money, they had, influence, they were probably living their dreams in terms of living with purpose and doing a career that they were excited about. And they had so many things going for them. And yet the reality, and I think we heard this so many times last week, is just that you never know. You never know how someone is really feeling and how much someone might be really struggling or really hurting. And in a way, I think it makes it a very even playing field where being a celebrity or being successful does not mean that you're immune to mental illness or even specifically to depression. And I think last week reminds us that these are issues that can touch absolutely anyone.
I think part of what is scary for a lot of people, it's, if they can't recognize it on someone who's like high profile, it's like, well, how can I recognize it in my friends or my family or people that I'm close to? How do I know if they're struggling? Is there ways that you encourage people to kind of identify warning signs or kind of engage conversations to let, for people to be able to let their loved ones know that there's help if they are struggling?
Yeah, and I think there's something that I noticed last week that I thought was interesting was everyone's reaction, even to Anthony Bourdain specifically, fans' reaction was shock and surprise because this was a guy that seemed so cool, so likable, seemed to be, doing this career that was amazing, that so many people would dream of having. But then you also started to hear from people who did know him, people who had actual relationships, that he was struggling, that there was darkness that the average fan would never know about. And I think what it actually points to is the value of relationships, that I think that's the thing we come back to over and over. And I think that's the nature of your question, is just how do we look out for the people that we are actually connected to, that we do life with. And I think oftentimes, depression can show up in so many different ways. And so we love to remind people just the value of a consistent relationship, an honest relationship. I mean, for some people, it can be their sleeping habits. For other people, it's their diet. It's maybe they used to be social and they begin to isolate. When we really know someone, I think it gives us the best chance to notice when their behavior begins to change. When someone, you hear something or you notice something, or even just body language or someone being quiet, when we have a sense of kind of who they are and who they are when they're healthy, I think that gives us a chance to speak up and say something when we are concerned. But I think in terms of specifically, it can touch so many different aspects of life. And I think we love to just encourage people, if you're concerned, or even if you're not concerned, even if you just want to be a good friend, I think we have to keep checking in and just have to come back to that question. Hey, how are you? How are you really doing? What's really going on beyond social media, beyond work, beyond the good news or the highlights? Like, how are you really doing?
On the flip side of that, I feel like there are probably a lot of people that wish that people would ask him that question, that maybe they don't have the comfort level to say, hey man, I'm struggling, or I need help. For those people who have kind of found themselves in maybe a dark place and they don't have anyone kind of reaching out, what would you encourage them to do?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is counseling. I show up every single week for an hour, and it's kind of like, that's exactly what we're there for, is for my counselor to ask those hard questions and to sit and listen and obviously to offer guidance and help me process as well. But I understand that feeling of either not having friends or needing more help than our friends can provide. And so I think we love to just point people to mental health professionals. And also in moments of crisis, knowing one resource we point to all the time is Crisis Text Line, where at any hour of the day, you can send a text to 741-741, and you'll get a response basically instantly from a trained crisis counselor. And so if someone is hurting, if they're feeling alone, they can simply send a text, and all of a sudden, a moment later, they are not alone. There's another voice, there's another perspective. And then I think too, this is the Relevant podcast. I think the hope would be that the church would be part of the solution, that people who feel alone, people who feel isolated, people who are hurting or struggling could find a home at a local church, could walk in and feel seen and feel known and feel like they don't have to perform. They don't have to be cool. They don't have to be successful. That could be another place where I can walk in and fall apart. I can walk in and find people who, even if they can't specifically meet my needs, they can be a part of the process of those needs being met.
And for people who may not know about all the things that To Write Love in Our Arms offers, tell people a little bit about what they can find at the website and what resources are available to them.
Yeah, so we got our start back in 2006, just trying to tell a story and trying to help a friend in Orlando at the time, obviously where Relevant started and where Relevant continues. And social media has really been our home base ever since. And over the years, we've been able to use it to be a source of hope, a source of encouragement, a source of resources. We've been able to give more than $2 million that's gone to treatment and counseling and professional help across the U.S. and outside of the country as well. We get to spend a lot of time on the road. There's over 100 different physical face-to-face events where we get to hit the road and meet people where they are, often music festivals and tours, college campuses, high schools, churches, and essentially just to continue to invite people into the conversation that you and I are having right now. So they'll find blogs, they'll find everything from national hotlines to local counseling offices, more information about these issues and more information about how to get involved as well.
And you're doing something else cool. I've been following on Twitter. We follow each other, and I've seen you talk a lot about Heart Camp. Tell me a little bit about what's involved with Heart Camp.
Yeah, so Heart Camp is just kind of a side project workshop. I have had the privilege of people asking me questions over the years and people being curious about my story or my work or things I've learned. Not just like the fun highlights, but also the challenges and things I wish I had done different. And I just had this idea of, man, I wish I could kind of have a place and a couple of days where we could have those conversations, like where it could be more than a tweet or just a moment after an event. And so Heart Camp, each time it's right around 40 people. And we just sort of have this 2-day conversation. And I lead most of the sessions, but then we always bring in a mental health professional. We always bring in a spoken word poet and kind of invite people to talk about what they really want to do. It's a lot of people in transition, navigating career changes and life changes. And I think essentially people who want to make an impact, they want to bring their heart to work, they want to communicate, and really wrestling through how do I do that? Sometimes it's people starting organizations or someone who wants to make writing more of a priority, but it's been really cool. And I think my favorite surprise has just been seeing people connect and find friends and seeing those friendships continue months later.
That's awesome, man. If people want to find out more about Heart Camp, where's the best place for them to go?
So the website is heartcampwithjamie.com.
Awesome. And also, I need to tell people too, if you feel too much, I think it's been like 2 years now?
It's actually been 3.
3, man, time flies. Well, definitely encourage people to check it out. Incredible book, some incredible stories in there. And Jamie, man, we appreciate everything that you've done over the years and everything you're doing. The impact that you've had is just unbelievable, and really have for more than a decade now been a leader in kind of helping people navigate this conversation and pointing them to resources and to get the help that they need. And we really appreciate you, man.
Oh, thanks, Jesse. It's an honor.
That was Jamie Tworkowski. Make sure to check out To Write Love in Our Arms and follow him on Twitter at Jamie Tworkowski. Up next, your feedback. You're listening to Maddie. The song is clear. Unless you had digital noise or problem with your download, then the song wasn't clear.
It's a little staticky.
A little staticky. Yeah.
That was good.
Hey, it's time for your feedback. Last week for the question of the week, we asked you, okay, well, we got talking about beefs. We got talking about who were the two Christians that were beefing?
Natalie Grant and Sandy Patty.
No,
it was sparked because of the Pusha T.
That's right.
That's it.
Pusha T and Drake.
Yeah,
that's
but
right.
now it's
right.
Wendy's IHOB.
And I did appreciate some of our African American listeners tweeting that it is a unique experience hearing four white people talk about a hip hop beef. So sorry about that, everybody. Anyway, got us talking about beefs, and we asked you for the question of the week: what Christian celebrity beef do you want to see happen, and what would they be beefing about?
Okay, did y'all see Aubrey does this is my favorite one so far. She said, "I can't believe you guys forgot about John Rubin. John Rubin, what is he dippity doing?" I mean, I haven't thought about that. I haven't thought about that in a decade, probably. But she wants a battle between John Rubin and Toby Mac about to see who is listed as most comparable to Macklemore on a youth group poster, comparing Macklemore to Toby Mac or John Rubin.
If you like Macklemore, you'll like...
Right. Where is John Rubin in the world?
He was living in Ohio. He's just living his best life.
Are you still friends with him, Cameron? I say still. I assume there was a point when you and John Rubin totally rolled.
I mean, we had each other's number, but I mean, we didn't like hang.
For sure, I knew it.
That kind of thing.
Do you still have it? Will you text him right now on the show?
Yeah, I could text him unless he's changed his number. I don't know.
Let's try.
He's still doing music. He's still doing his thing. He's just living his life.
I like this one. Brett said,
Why are there so many white Christian rappers? You had KJ52, KJ52. You had, obviously Toby Mac was the OG. You had John Rubin.
Yeah.
I mean, right
What's
now
the
you've got
dippity doing,
NF,
man?
who sounds exactly like Eminem. I feel like, you had a couple of guys in LA Symphony, Flynn. I mean, you got a lot of white Christian rappers.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever thought about this until this moment.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is. Interesting. Maybe we should get them all beefing.
Get them all beefing.
Get them
Like
all
who's
beefing.
who's the
There was another one. B something. What's the other one?
B-Rad. He was fictional.
Yes.
He was.
No.
B-Rad.
You're exactly right. That's it. B-Rad.
It was not.
No,
There's nobody named B-Rad.
B-Rad was it. B-Rad
B-Rad
was.
is from that movie.
Liz, I heard you wrong. That's how it starts.
Yeah, Malibu's
Hold on, I'm
most
about to
wanted.
Google it. B. Rice. That's his name. Did I get it?
Oh, was he a rapper?
Well, you also had Carman throughout a couple of tracks in the early 90s. You also had the Brian Duncan track we played.
Okay, but Carman Carman's rap was always like, "Yo, my name is Carman and I'm here to say." Like it was barely rap. It was
spoken
gonna
word.
get those demons.
It was unintentional. It was unintentional rap parody, is what Carmen's rap was.
Yeah.
B-Rad was Jamie Kennedy's character in Malibu's Most Wanted. Jamie Kennedy, whatever happened to that guy? Whatever happened to KJ52? What happened to Jamie Kennedy? Remember the Jamie Kennedy experience? He's getting people axed all the time. It was great. It was hilarious. I love candid prank shows.
Did you really?
Hey,
I hated those shows.
Why is
Really?
Netflix sleeping on this? Like, if they brought back the Jamie Kennedy experience, who's at least not giving it a whirl? Who's at least not giving it 2 episodes? This guy is.
The payoff was never good. It's like an entire episode for this one kind of lame, overproduced prank. You like those shows?
What about Candid? Okay, what about old school Candid Camera? What about old school Candid Camera? You wouldn't pay to see that back on the air?
Dude, my least favorite part of The Office, and I love The Office, is when Michael Scott would do things to make people uncomfortable, like Scott's Tots.
Yeah.
Like, I felt more for those kids in the room and the awkwardness. And so watching Candid Camera and stuff like that, I just can't
that's
handle.
even better because real people.
Yeah.
It's real people. It's like, the only thing close is that show on like MSNBC that's called What Would You Do? And except there's no joke in it. There's no humor.
No.
It's just
Oh,
people
it's
in like a
awful.
horrible scenario. And like they just want to see what some bystander will do. And if they do nothing,
like somebody
they show
saying
it.
something verbally abusive at a restaurant, or somebody like the mom walks away and the kid takes money out of her purse.
Yeah,
the mom
or
comes back
shoplifting
and
or something.
and somebody
Awful.
saw it. The thing that I don't get about that show is they didn't have to sign the waiver.
I think the same thing, Cameron.
Why?
Exactly. Put them on blast. I've started living every day like what would you do with that? With
Why?
what's the guy's
If
name?
you were exposed to be
Yes.
a horrible person and the camera crew comes and says, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you stop that violence? Why didn't you do the thing? And they're like, oh, because I don't know. And then please sign this waiver
sign
so
this.
America can see what a terrible person you are. Okay,
Yes.
I get to be on TV. I mean, it's like, what in the world?
I have literally
I'm here
thought the
for it.
exact
That's
same
why
thing.
I've lived every moment since I first encountered the show as if because technically it's true that this could be an episode of What Would You Do? And I'm now that means I'm a vigilante. I go and I try to prevent crimes. I'm living a life of a real life superhero. Maybe one day my antics will be revealed and What Would You Do? But I love it. I love that kind of show. And I think, again, there is nothing on TV that has the candid camera real time pranks like I used to love. I don't get it. The whole genre's just disappeared. Someone needs to bring it back.
So did you love like Punk'd?
Oh, who didn't love Punk? Cameron Andre, you tell me you didn't watch Punk'd and laughed?
I did.
It just wasn't my thing. I mean, I saw
I thought
it, but
was
it wasn't.
so funny.
Yeah,
I did watch Punk'd. That was before I had a conscience.
Oh my!
I know. I grew up like just somewhere along the line. I started having like a very low tolerance for seeing people embarrass themselves or
get picked
anything
on
like
or
that.
kind of mocked.
Even though it was the celebrities and they were always usually friends, that's why I actually liked Punk'd. Is I thought this is actually friendship stuff that's happening.
Yeah,
Were they always friends?
to me,
In
it's
my
almost
mind,
like
Audrey, I'm an Enneagram 7. Everybody's friends. You know?
it's almost like we're gonna make fun of you. And we're gonna make fun of you, and then like laugh about it, and you have to like be okay. It's like there's always a victim. Like I hated the victim stuff.
Yeah.
I don't
Like,
care.
I don't know. I don't like bullying either, Jesse.
Hey, it's Chandler from Friends. He'll get over it, okay?
He's still a person.
Look, they just sent 200 pizzas to the studio where the Backstreet Boys are recording and are making them pay for it. It's comedy. It's comedy.
Yeah.
The Backstreet Boys will recover from having to
be
decide who pays for these pizzas. I'm just saying it was great entertainment and it's totally gone away. I think because, people are too concerned about people's feelings, and I think we need a Jamie Kennedy or Give the Von Dutch hat back to Ashton Kutcher and say, listen, America needs to see some of these pranks right now,
You know what? I actually wonder if just like, obviously the humor appetites and national appetites and what's okay and what's not changes. I mean, like one of the things, I mentioned over the months I've been watching all these old 70s and 80s sitcoms. I mean, there's so much of those humor and stereotype characters and stuff that
for
like
sure.
you could never bring back.
Yeah.
Appetites change, society evolves. I don't know, man, with the whole bullying conversation and, like
that we couldn't do a prank show at all. You don't think because it's so bullying?
I don't know. I just wonder if there's just not a national appetite for it anymore.
Maybe.
If it's celebrities, if it's celebrities, then it's okay because we've all learned they're not people.
I think that what Annie said would be key, that it would have to be celebrity friends pranking each other.
Yeah.
And we're going to hang
in my
out
head,
afterwards.
that's always what Punk'd was just a bunch of buddies pranking each other that are all rich and famous.
What about that show like Impractical Jokers or something like that, right? Like people
That's true.
watch stuff like that,
Yeah,
I think
they watch it on the Spike
Cameron,
channel.
Okay,
or
how
whatever.
about this? This is a pitch that I'm going to do to like ESPN.
Okay.
This is Punk'd in NBA locker rooms, and you have like Ahmad Rashad or someone everybody knows, and he's the prank master, right? And
The ageless Ahmad Rashad.
I love
He
Ahmad
looks the
Rashad.
exact same from 1984 to now. It's amazing.
he's like Pharrell, yeah. He's like or Ashton Kutcher. Those guys,
He's
I
the
can see a
sports
picture of
casting
them.
Pharrell.
I can see a picture of them like 15 years apart. I'm like, I don't know which one is which. It's incredible.
That's right.
But you have Ahmad Rashad,
lot of
and he's like,
moisturizer.
okay, today we're going to the Cleveland Cavs locker room, and they're all going to punk LeBron. You're not in for that? Like a sports version of Punk'd, everyone would watch.
But there has to be a victim. I don't like it.
But if the victim's LeBron,
Poor LeBron. LeBron's sensitive,
Oh my
man.
gosh. Cameron, I've never seen this side of you.
Hey, Annie, the Lord's really been working on my heart. I'm just in a sensitive place right now. Very tender. So
I've got
You're
a lot of
very
feelings.
tender. You're injured.
I'm driving into work listening to worship music with tears in my eyes, and then you coming in wanting to prank everybody. I mean, it's just like, just have some empathy, man. Have a heart.
So you're saying you're not in for an elaborate prank that could or not be taking place directly after this podcast involving the entire staff. Hey, hang on. Hey, guys, can you hang on one second? I got to just send a quick email. The pizza place, 200. I got to cancel that. Someone's
all right, come on, more feedback. There's a lot more.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Christian Battle, Carman and Kevin Sorbo. Sorbo steals Carman's spotlight. This has already happened. Sorbo's in all those God's Not Dead movies, or he's in a bunch of Christian movies. He's like the go-to. He's the new Carman. I do think Carman and Kevin Sorbo beefing would be good. You know, I'd like to see
because they are kind of similar, but you wouldn't think about it until you saw their beef and realize no wonder they're fighting.
But when you're like casting your Christian movie, you know, for a very limited budget, and you're thinking, I could get a Hollywood star. He played Hercules. You're going to cast him every time, so he's getting every role. Yeah. Carmen's out.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Here's my thing: a celebrity boxing match. Throw those two hunks in the ring and let them duke it out, and we'll decide who gets all the roles from here on: Carman or Sorbo.
I think it'd be. I think watching two celebrities.
Carman is a champion.
Punch each other would be way harder than watch them prank each other.
Boxing is a gentleman's game, and if they signed up for it, I'm telling you, what happened to you guys? You wouldn't watch Carman? Your feelings are too sensitive to watch Carman and Kevin Sorbo box voluntarily?
I want to watch them both get punked and see who handles it better. That's what I want to watch. That's the beef I want. I
just
want them
feel
to prank
bad
each
for
other.
them.
A prank war between Carman and Kevin Sorbo.
I couldn't see Carman losing his cool on somebody in that way, but I could.
You couldn't?
I couldn't.
He's Italian. I mean, I can see that.
What a strange thing to say.
What a strange.
I mean, he's the Italian stallion. You don't mess with it. I mean, like, I could see him snapping, is what I'm saying.
Really?
I could, like, let's say, like, you went up and tried to tussle his hair.
Yeah.
He's leveling you.
Don't touch the hair.
That's what I'm saying. You like,
so you orchestrate a prank where someone has stolen his car, which I can only assume is like an old muscle car that he has out in the driveway.
For sure it is. Sure it is.
Sorbo orchestrates something where he comes outside and it's peeling off. Do you think Carman? I don't see Carman freaking out. I see him giving chase.
Other way, I see Carman losing it. I think the blood boils right under the surface, and very small things set him off. I think bad service at a restaurant. He's snapping.
And Sorbo is just driving away in his car, just laughing.
Yeah, and Sorbo is just maniacally laughing.
Yeah, he's just over it. He's Gary Busing this thing. You can't peg Sorbo. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. What I don't understand is you guys are acting like this wouldn't be awesome.
It would be awesome. So what's the prank that Carmen's going to do back to Sorbo, Jesse? I think it depends. If Sorbo goes first, Carman just walks right up and punches Kevin Sorbo in the stomach as hard as he can, and that's the prank. And he says, "Joke's on you." Oh, then you get both. We get the pranks and the boxing.
Carman doesn't get the nuance. He didn't get the dance.
Doesn't understand. Like, that's not a prank. That's just
that's just assault.
That's just hitting someone. That's literally hitting someone.
That's literally you just punch Kevin Sorbo in the stomach for no apparent reason.
There's no irony
you got
in
X,
the fact that you punched him in the stomach.
Well, there's a lot more feedback where that came from. Go check it out at Relevant Podcast on Twitter or on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. Okay, it's time for this week's
editorial question of the week. Hey.
Well, earlier in the show, we were talking about the Kardashian family, the West Kardashians' appearance on Family Feud. And it got us thinking, I've never been on a game show. Have any of y'all?
I have not.
Yeah, but I'm sure some of you listening have, and we want to know your experience. So if you've been on a game show, write us and tell us about your game show experience.
Can we extend it to people who like audition for a game show too, and something interesting happened? Because I know there's some stories of people trying to get on like Survivor.
What do you mean? How do? You have to like make a video of yourself or something?
Yeah, I don't know if you have to make a video or what. I just think there's got to be some people have had some interesting experiences trying to get on game shows in The Bachelor.
Yeah, these are the kind of stories I want. I want to hear.
So I went on Jeopardy and I won $12,000.
No, I do want that. that because I want to know what they do with that money.
I do, but I want to extend it because I don't know
You
how many
want
people
failed attempts to try to get on a game show.
If something funny happened, not just like I posted a YouTube video to get on The Amazing Race or something.
No, but if I want to know if someone made $12,000, I want you to tell us that you walked away from Jeopardy with $12,000 in your pocket and what you did with it.
That's true. Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, or you can post your longer stories on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. Many thanks to our guests for joining us. You can check out Jamie Tworkowski's book. It's out now. It's a New York Times bestseller, if you feel too much. You can also check out all the resources at that To Write Love has at TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms, the acronym TWLOHA.com. And follow him on Twitter at Jamie Tworkowski. He's gotten a little outspoken in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Bold. a little edgy Jamie. I like it.
He's honest. I like it.
While you're online, head over to iTunes. And if you like the show, leave a review. It helps other people find it. And if you don't like it, just keep it to yourself.
It's so funny to say that.
On that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Andre Henry.
I'm Clark Flippo.
Hey, there's Clark. I forgot he was there.
Clark, nice work, man.
Appreciate
I'm
it.
Jesse Carey.
And I'm Annie F. Downs.
We'll see you guys on Friday.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
You just punched Kevin Sorbo in the stomach for no apparent reason.
Relevant Podcast Network.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care. Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.